welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm participating in an organizing hop put on by Ginger from Ginger's Corner. And you can organize anything that you want. So today I thought I would work on my distress ink and kind of my distress oxide. So I'm sure a lot of people have this problem, is what to do with the blending foams. So originally I had bought these boxes to keep my inks in, which works great, and it's by Tim Holtz, so it's made for this. But the original foams, here's one, came flat. And so at first that worked perfect. It fits right in there. And then you would just store them like that. So that's no big deal. But then they came up with these dome foams. And actually the ones I got came out first from scrapbook.com. And I like using these because they're easier for me to blend with than the others. They don't really fit under there because then these raise up and they don't fit. You put them on top and then they get smushed. Or I've had, if you go on the side, then the edge here makes a crease and then that will show up on your ink blending. So that doesn't work. So I need a way to store them. Also, sometimes I would get these little ones, which I like because you could get more for your money and get more colors. But sometimes I would get the bigger ones. And a lot of times that just depended if I ordered them online, or maybe you would get a color and it hadn't come out in the mini and you wanted it, so you got it, or it was on sale, so you got it, and then you couldn't get the little ones because you'd have twice. Or sometimes I would get little ones of both because when you buy a pack, they might have some of the same colors that you already got. So in any case, you can kind of stick them in between here, but then you end up with, they get all kind of mixed together, and then I don't know where they belong with. And then if I happen to have two of the same color, why do I need two of the same ones? I need to organize these, and I have seen several ways. Some people put them in binders, but that would be very bulky in my opinion. I do like using binders with a lot of my things, but I didn't think that would work too well. So I saw this idea from, I think it was Nicole Spohr, and she used these jewelry things, which work great, but she put them in a drawer. So then she would, this has a lid, so then she kind of did like this, where, you know, I don't know, she put the lid on the top and this, so she'd have two containers. So this makes 24, so then I guess she'd have 48. Well, I'm not going to put these in a drawer. I don't have a drawer to put them in. I'm going to stack them, so of course I want them this way. So I need the whole container for one. And the ones I got came from Michael's, and they may have different brands, so I'm not sure if they all come the exact size, but this was called Bead Landing. They're really to store beads in. This one says 9.4 inch times 6.2 times 0.9. I'm not sure if that's the box or 24 screw top jars with lids. Okay, so 1.37 inches by 0.8. So I think the 0.8 is this way, and this is, because it is over an inch since I checked that earlier. Any case, they do fit in here. So my thought is, and I've seen someone else do this too, where they put theirs in whatever container they use and put it upside down, which is what I want to do, because then you could just do that when you're going to get it out, and that'd be very easy. However, then how do you know which color it is? Plus, as you can tell, some of those purples look pretty much the same. So I want to label these. So I'm going to make a label, and my idea is to use, you could use a sticker sheet, or you could use, I'm going to use label sheets just because I used to own a tea business, and I've got all kinds of mailing labels. So I thought I would use these. And then I thought what I could do is just kind of put the ink on there and then try to use my, I have a circle cutter that does an inch. So that way I'll be able to tell what color everything is. And then I thought I would use my label maker to put the name of it on there. So first of all, I want to arrange them because like you see here, I don't have 12 of them in here. I just kind of put them by colors and then I add as I go, which is no problem because you could, if you buy more of these, which I'll have to because I definitely have more than 24. I just wanted to see how it worked before I bought any more. And then, of course, wait till they go on sale or use a coupon. I think we all do that. So anyway, I'm going to see how they work. And I'm going to go ahead and just put the colors that I actually have. And I'll compare my little ones and my big ones. So I only have one for each color if I have more than one. And also, you see if we got a match for everything. I have a couple that I haven't used. So if there's a color that doesn't have one, I have a couple. Otherwise, I might need to order some. But also, I wanted to look at this to help me organize because I'm trying to keep color families. I don't think it'd be useful for me to have it alphabetical because I've seen a list of that, but I don't always remember the names. And if I'm looking for a blue, I want all my blue together so I can find blue. So I thought I would use this to help me organize. So I'm not really sure how they're all going to go because I only have 24. So I'm thinking I use blues and greens probably the most. So since I've kind of put blue and purple together, because I think of blue and purple more, I think more yellow and green. So I think, and actually, I think I have a lot of green or blue-green. I guess you could put. So anyway, I got this list from just Dress Ink from the Ranger site because they're made by Ranger. And this is actually their one that you can cut these out and put them on the side of the regular ones. Put these out and put there so that if you were looking at them from the side, you could tell what color it is. Which would probably be great in these and this container because you can't tell, except the ones in the front, what color they are. So that'd probably be a good thing to do. Maybe I'll do that after I finish this. Start like, let's see, maybe here it says crepe pistachio. That's more blue-green, so I might start like here, salvage patina, and then go through and see which colors and see, you know, how many I have of purple to see what I'll put in here. And then we'll come back and I'll do a couple of them with you. Okay, I got all of mine labeled, and so I'm going to do a couple of them here. So I just cut out those little labels, put on here so I would have that on temporarily so I know which ones go to which. One thing I discovered is the label paper didn't blend really well, at least the ones I used previously with the smaller labels. And so I had to be careful about trying to blend it like I normally do. Kind of use bouncing because then the fibers in the paper would come up. One of the disadvantages of the smaller ones is they're usually not as inky. They dry out quicker, so you do have to re-ink them more often. This paper seems to be going better. So that's one thing you will have to check on is if you do this according to the paper you use. But I wanted to use these labels even if they're not as good at blending as the paper I usually blend on, because then if I used that paper, it was thicker, and then I would have to add some sticky tape probably on the back because I don't think glue would have worked too well on the plastic containers. And I don't know if you use sticker paper, it might work better, but it depends on the paper that's on your sticker paper. Now with this, it doesn't go up too far, so I have to kind of cut over so I can get up there. I don't like to swatch. A lot of people swatch their inks, but to me that seems like extra work. Another thing I have to store away, so I don't. So this could kind of serve as a swatch, even though it's not on the type of paper I'd actually use, but it's still close enough that it's gonna let me know what it looks like. And I made labels on my label maker. There. I think it would look better if you happen to have the clear with the black that goes on here, but still my circle's bigger than the tag, so I can still see the color. Because I'm using what I have, and I didn't have clear with black. I have white with black, and I think that's the only one I had. Then we'll do one more, and the other ones I did off screen, so you wouldn't have to watch me do the same thing over and over again. So this is Dusty Concord. As I mentioned earlier, this is part of a YouTube hop with Ginger's Corner, so there is a playlist, and I'll have the link at the end of this video as well as in the description below, so you can hop along and see what other people are doing for organizing this month, as well as previous videos, so you can get some other ideas for organizing your various scrapbooking or card making or whatever paper making craft supplies that you have. I will put a list of the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of these will be affiliate links, so it won't cost you anything extra to use, but I do get a small commission from any sales that the links generate, and that does help support my channel. For some reason, I accidentally printed 2 of these, so maybe I'll put the extra one with my distress oxides, because I'll need to make a separate container of those when I do that. So you always want to make sure you don't mix up your distress ink and your distress oxide. So some of these colors are similar, and if you happen to use, I don't like, these two are pretty close. This one's a little bit more red. They're not going to cross-contaminate, and you can always just kind of wipe it off or wipe off your, like if you use, I don't know, this one on this, then you could just kind of smear it a little bit and get the extra off. But you don't want to introduce oxide into the distress ink, because these are a dye-based ink, where distress oxide is dye and pigment, so you don't want pigment ink to be introduced. So I was able to get all of my green and blue-green, blue, and purple in here. Of course, if I expand, then I might need to get more. And at this moment, I'll probably be able to get all of my yellow, orange, and red in another container. So 2 containers will probably be fine for my distress inks, and then 1 for my oxides. So then this way we could see what's in there. We'll just take off the lid. And then of course you can easily match it up to which one it is. And shrink pad out. So that seems like it will work. And then I put the lid on, and then I can easily get another one the same size and just stack them up. So I could probably put 3 or 4 on a shelf. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.